Live from the EchoPark Speedway, welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where this afternoon we are set to duke it out once again for more racing action here from the For the Boys Racing League. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Ola Rampo, bringing you all of racing action from start to finish of Sunday night Gen 5 racing action. Boy, what an absolutely thrilling race we had to kick off the season over at Daytona International Speedway just 1 week ago. And well, with a long season ahead of us, we are still looking to have ourselves with some absolutely fantastic racing as we continue to work our way deeper and deeper into the season. We'll, of course, start things off by going over how last week's race went. Of course, it was a wild one. Plenty of thrills and spills, several cars going upside down and everything in between. Will we see the same tonight? Well, only time will tell. Exiting race number one, of course, running the old Winston Cup Series points format, and after bonus points are factored in, Aaron Smith stands atop the boards with 185 over Jonathan Evans. Brandon Burkhardt sits in third with 165. He is tied with Matt Press with the third place spot, with Kyle Taub bringing it up down in number 5. From there, John Nichols, Daniel Moynihan, K.H. Donahue, John Phillips, and Matt Telder will close out the standings from Daytona. We've got 23 more ready to rumble here this afternoon from the old 2008 scan of, I guess at this point, it was called the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Of course, we take a look at the weather, the weather entering today's race. 98 degrees Fahrenheit down on the racetrack. Very minimal crosswinds that drivers have to contend with. So favorable conditions out there here. Of course, the date we are running on currently, March 9th in Sim at about 3:13 p.m. So with this 250-mile race set to kick off in just a few moments' time, you know that you're going to get quite a few drivers that are going to be really looking to battle it out big time with all of the strife that such a track like this can bring about. And of course, with under a minute to go here in qualifying, this field is just about set to rumble out this afternoon. 2 cars have opted not to qualify. Those drivers being Ron Malam and Hunter Sr., 2 contenders that, of course, were present two weeks ago at Daytona. And they'll look to see who's going to end up being where when we go racing once again here this afternoon. So with only a handful of seconds left here in qualifying, you look at some of the sights around the EchoPark Speedway. Jonathan Evans right now situated on a provisional pole. And it looks like provisional pole is where he will stay, as we're going to close out our qualifying session and get set to rumble for racing action here on round number 2 for the Atlanta 250. Starting things off here this afternoon on pole position, it is going to be the likes of one Jonathan Evans with the RacePI.com. Number 26, he starts alongside the EPI. Number 51 of Brandon Marr. From there, row number 2, going to hold Larry Yingling and Samuel Fontaine in 3rd and 4th. 5th and 6th, you're going to have the likes of Dylan Basin and the old Jimmy Johnson Lowe's number 48 alongside Chuck Sweeting. From there, row number 4 holds John Nichols and K.H. Donahue, with the top 10 closed out by Matt Telder and Diego Sainz. Row 6 holds Cole Sikept alongside Brandon Burkhardt. Row 7 with Ken Campbell and Donald Castillo. Row 8 will hold the likes of Matt Press alongside Jason Dalton, and the top 20 going to be headed up by Daniel Moynihan, Chris Gore, along with Cameron Ingram and Colin Savage. Aaron Smith was the last car to put a lap down here in qualifying, over a second off the pace with the Daytona winner. He looks for more this afternoon. He starts alongside Hunter Sr. and an old Tony Stewart, number 20, alongside Ron Malam, the old Michael Watt trip Napa Auto Parts 47, down to the tail of the field. So the field getting set and just about ready to rumble from Atlanta this afternoon. Well, the field just waiting now on the last handful of cars to get gridded on up, and now we will see the field roll on out. So far, Brandon Marr, the lone car that is actually going to miss the call, along with Ron Milan. So we are down to just 21 to start the pace around Atlanta Motor Speedway. So hedge your bets as the field gets set to pace around the EchoPark Speedway. Brandon Marr will have to start his race from pit road. A tough break after he started, was set to start on the front row. Not sure what went awry to cause Brandon Marr to start his race from the pits. But it's going to be a long drive unless he can get an early caution here to help get him back up front with the leaders. The field going to work their way through turn numbers 3 and 4. Brad, you're joining us for racing action here on this fantastic Sunday night. We enter the Geico Restart Zone. It's time to get the party started. It's go, go, go from Atlanta. Coming around turn numbers 3 and 4. It's going to be none other than Jonathan Evans. Who could have guessed the driver that started on pole will lead the way at the end of lap number 1. So the 250-miler is underway as Jonathan Evans runs away with it. Samuel Fontaine and Larry Yingling running back in second and third. Side by side all the way back through this field as we take off into 3 and 4. The Charger of Yingling trying to fight it out with Chuck Switting up above him. Running that number 75 as Yingling tries to hold that car down to the low side. Cars already starting the single file for the most part all throughout this field. Some double file still going on in the midfield. But for the most part, nobody's really eager to kind of push it too aggressively. Fastest lap of the race so far, put down by Daniel Moynihan, a 31.073. We'll see Moynihan up towards the top of the field in terms of the timing charts as he tries to claw his way back through the pack. Meanwhile, Dylan Basin down the inside of Chuck Sweeney, making the attack for third in the lows, and Cobalt Tools number 48. Dylan Basin clears up into third. And now looking like he wants to maybe make the charge for the number 2 spot. He's got Samuel Fontaine just in front of him. Boy, the sound of Gen 5 cars screaming around this racetrack is just something truly heavenly. Matt Press making that look to the inside. He gets cut off as Diego Sainz chops across his nose at the number 44. Sainz now trying to go after Matt Telder just up the road. Well, it may look easy, but I promise you it is anything but. Colin Savage going to be hit with a black flag as he came down to pit road, had some sort of an issue going on for his entry. Unfortunate for him. Oh, we got trouble. And not trouble, sorry. Dylan Basin actually coming to pit road early as well. So Basin now hits pit road. He bails out from third on the grid, potentially playing a fuel game here to go for a very early pit stop. Colin Savage didn't pan out for him. And now look at the Hornets Nest packed up from Chuck Sweden on back. Larry Yingling side by side with John Nichols. And the number 1 of Matt Telder trying to throw his hat into the ring as well. Still working around through turn numbers 1 and 2. Back to the front straightaway. Well, so far, I mean, the field had a little bit of a rocky moment there for a bit, but they're starting to kind of get their footing. Tell you what, they remained in double file for quite a bit longer than I thought. I thought for sure we would have been already fully single filed out by now, but well, sure, you can still put on some good side-by-side race if you get a good field that knows how to work these cars. Try to get a quick look back on what happened to Colin Savage here. This is coming down to pit road. Gets her down to the apron just fine. And that'll be too hot on entry. Now on board with Chuck Sweeting as he's got Diego Sainz up high. Sainz going to clear. And now looking up as well is the number 68 of Larry Yingling, and just behind him he can't clear up because he's got the 15 of Ken Campbell just above him. Boy, it gets busy in a hurry when you're at a track like EchoPark Speedway. So far, the big movers on the day, Matt Press and Daniel Moynihan, both of them up 8 on the afternoon. Colin Savage back down to pit road. This time, he's got a meatball flag. And he is not the only one. Chris Gore has got some big right front damage on his entry. Not a good start for Chris Gore. He is going to have to come down to pit road and get that fixed. Well, we'll take a look, find out what happened to Gore. Oh, that might have been it right there. Kind of caught it a bit late. We'll back this up and try to get a better look. Alongside Aaron Smith. Well, the car just got sucked into the wall, and oh boy. Doesn't do a good job, but that is a sharp angle that he took up into the outside wall. So he is now down and into pit road to fix that damage. And that looks like it will be a day ender for Gore. Watching Matt Press fighting it out with Ken Campbell. Campbell has managed to find his way to the outside, which seems to be where a lot of the pace is at right now. Oh, a huge step in the back end there just behind for the 53 of Daniel Moynihan. Moynihan running the lone Subaru on the racetrack. Now, Subaru, of course, in the real world did not have any hand to play in the Gen 5 stock cars. You see him kind of getting all sorts of squirrely down the back straightaway, but hey, doesn't stop people from throwing some badges on there and sending them. Campbell continues to battle it out down to the low side. So Ken Campbell trying to fight it out with John Nichols just above him. And Nichols looking to try and rip clear from the top side. Towards the front, Matt Press trying to look for the inside of Matt Telder. Who leads on the right rear quarter panel. Nearly sends Telder for a ride in turn 1. Goes up, gives a bit of a love tap to the driver's side door. Boy, Press is cooking today as he tries again to try and send that one for the inside of the number 1. Well, the field continuing to take off through turn numbers 2 and 3. Headed towards the back straightaway all the while. The front two, Jonathan Evans and Samuel Fontaine, steadily have been building up a gap at the head of the field, and they look to be checked out. They are gone. The top two having a good breakaway. Meanwhile, Nichols and Moynihan going to exchange some blows. Some drivers started to drop off at the tail end here. Jason Dalton and Hunter Sr. losing a little bit of touch down at the back end of the running. Meanwhile, looking for offset 3 wide. Wasn't going to happen that time, but not to say they weren't thinking about it. Oh, heads up, Moynihan. Bit of a wobble on the back chute. I think we're going to be seeing that quite a bit here this afternoon. Round the outside of him. Going to look to go the number 48 of Dylan Basin. Now remember, Basin not for position here. Basin came down pit road for a splash and go about 14 laps ago. He is now just hunting through the field. He had pitted in from third, so that car's got a lot of pace underneath it. I still don't know why you would come down on just the 7th lap of the race, but hey, to each their own. I think he may have been playing a strategy call. As he now looks to go around the outside of the number 99 of Matt Press. For the back, Chuck Sweeting starting to make some moves. He's right on board with Cole Saquette making his first start of the series. Everyone under a blanket here still. I mean, these guys have not been able to break away from each other. Hunter Sr. coming down the pit road, and the fact he is taking the toes. So Sr. is down and out. No damage on that car. He may have just called it quits. Up into the wall goes Daniel Moynihan. And the Subaru's into the fence big. He's in a hemorrhage spots, dropping out of the top 10. Now, got to be careful that he doesn't have too much damage on that right front as a result. You'll see him when he comes around 4. Look at all that scuffed paint now. Well, as I say that. So maybe got away with it with some mercy from the gods that be on iRacing. Campbell, meanwhile, overtakes Matt Telden for number 5. Telden not going to take that one lying down. Tries to look for the inside. Couldn't get a run on the Impala. And behind, there is Aaron Smith. Smith up 14 spots so far. The PT Autosport number 70 won last week. And he is trying to see if he can't potentially go back-to-back. And, well, with him now threatening the top 5, he's got a shot at it. You saw Diego Sainz drop back several positions. He may have had a bit of a moment. While John Nichols slings to the inside of Matt Telder. Telder's up high. And immediately drives back around him. And in fact, Nichols now pulling way to the inside. He got unsaddled out of 2. Could be that the tire has already started to kick in as Telder has found the fence out of 4. So now Matt Telder started to drop. Telder is not out of the woods as Chuck Sweeney continues to hunt for the inside line. Meanwhile, Smith now attacking Ken Campbell. Really wants to try and make this thing happen. Quite the fight then that these guys are having with one another as they remain about a 1/10 of a second separated. Now Aaron Smith trying to go around the long way. But that outside lane has been the place to pass this afternoon. Ken Campbell trying to stuff her into turn numbers 3 and 4 to try to get it back, but Smith ripping the fence line. And he's going to secure. So Smith now into the top 5 and starting to pull away. Seeking to run down the leaders. Jason Dalton with a big slide on the front straightaway. Take a look at that in a moment as the battle for 4th settles itself out with Larry Yingling and Matt Press. And in fact, now Press under fire again as Smith tries to go up high. Smith secures another. Take a look at what happened to Jason Dalton. This is on the front straightaway, just 1 lap ago. As he comes around through turn numbers 3 and 4. Car kind of got away from a little bit in the middle of the quad oval, cut into the grass. Dragged it back underneath him. So far, a completely clean race this afternoon. Oh, hello. That might get a little tight there. Oh, contact! As the 44, Diego Sainz put into the wall by the 51 of Brendan Marr. Marr, remember, is on all tires, so Marr's got to be a little bit careful here so he doesn't catch the ire of the pack as he tries to unlap himself. Meanwhile, Yingling sees the threat behind, and he tries to desperately put Samuel Fontaine between himself and Aaron Smith. But Smith says, nope, I'll take that one away from you. So Smith now up to third and trying to go around the outside of Samuel Fontaine. Tell you what, Smith knows where to put his car once he gets some laps underneath him, and now nothing to stop him from running down Jonathan Evans. Whoa, heads up, whoa, boy, K.H. Donahue. A big wiggle coming out of turn 2, down the back straightaway. This racing has been absolutely fantastic so far. One car down pit road, that is Dominic Castillo. That is currently into the pits. And it's a long stop for Donald Castillo as well. So he has had something go awry for his race car that is meant coming down and taking some extra time for repairs. Around the outside of Daniel Moynihan goes Chuck Sweeting. Meanwhile, Donahue trying to recover as Telder gonna slap the wall coming into 3. And that's the SRAM number 90. Get down is inside into turn number 4. Already working lap 40 this afternoon. So we are just hustling through the laps right now. Daniel Moynihan, he may have been up 7, but he is dropping pretty rapidly. Sammy Fontaine wants to go back and take more. Trouble front straightaway. Around goes the 99 of Matt Press. Oh, and a big hit. K.H. Donahue plows into the back of someone. Ken Campbell's involved. Diego Sainz is involved. And Jonathan Evans can breathe a sigh of relief as he can get on the fresh tires. He was being run down by about 3/4 tenths a lap. Now take a look back, find out what happened here. Coming around turn numbers 3 and 4. Campbell looking for the inside of Press. Oh, Press just got loose right as Campbell is tracking up. Didn't realize it. Spins out the 99. They're going to go sliding into the infield grass. And Press kind of got out of this okay. The big hit comes with Ken Campbell here. Because when Campbell slides back up onto the racetrack and trying to get back around the 99, right into the path of K.H. Donahue, who careens into the back end and You can see the 44 Diego Sainz 4 tires locked up, trying to avoid, but just nothing you can do in that situation. And right there's the hit. That could very well take Campbell out of the race. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, whole field coming down pit road. No surprises there. Four tires and fuel all throughout. Matt Telder having to sit in pit road as he has picked up a meatball flag from somewhere on the racetrack. This is going to be on board with KH Donahue and what he saw. Saw the wreck, but I mean, these cars just don't slow down like you'd think they would. He reset pretty much immediately. Gonna find out what happened to Telder. Telder may have actually caught the wall trying to avoid. Take a look here. He's right behind Donahue. Yeah, he went high and just body slapped the wall trying to escape the wreck. That's what gave him a hefty meatball flag. The lights on the pace car are out, and we'll go green flag racing this time by. Jonathan Evans still leads the way. Larry Yingling has picked up the number 2 spot once again. Brendan Marr will get himself an extra penalty as he comes down a closed pit road. The big threat right now to the field, Aaron Smith. Smith up 17. And trying to make it more. Pace car is off. We're back into the God Can Restart zone. Green flag is out. Jonathan Evans takes us back. Further down the field, Dylan Basin takes full advantage of this caution to get himself back onto the lead lap. Now we can start to use all the pace of that 48 and start to drive back to the front of the field. 2 cars in front of him, Cameron Ingram. Haven't talked about Ingram much today. As all the pit stops, he now sits just on the cusp of the top 10. Daniel Moynihan trying to run it out on his outside. All the while, Matt Press will cover against Diego Sainz. Still a long way to go, right? 120 laps at the line still left in the running, so we're not even close to being done. But if the remainder of this race goes down the way the first 40 laps did, we're going to be in for a great night. Up front, Jonathan Evans under fire, as he has got one Larry Yingling looking up high, trying to get through for the race lead. Trying to drag him back slowly but surely. Side by side as they fire down the front straightaway. And all the while, Aaron Smith licks his chops and waits in the wings. He's going to wait for these guys to burn their stuff up. And then just rip around the both of them. Larry Yingling to the lead for the first time tonight. Checking back in on Moynihan and Nichols along with Basin as the battle for number 7 starts to show some more life. They'll continue to scrap it out amongst themselves, but it's still a good distance up towards the race lead. Now, not too far away. They could close in relatively convincingly if they just keep on it. Just see the whole field all the way coming around down the back straightaway. Single file, and again, just the full song that these cars boast is just something else entirely. Not seeing too much of the side-by-side on this second run. I think drivers starting to maybe back it down just a bit, drive a little bit more conservatively after that initial salvo. That was kind of the experimentation round. We've now figured out what works. We've figured out what doesn't. Several drivers are now out of the race. Just wanted to take it easy. 22 cars started this race. We are left with 18 on track, 16 on the lead lap. Colin Savage, Chris Gore, Hunter Sr., K.H. Donahue currently all out of the race. Reporting in, by the way, that Savage might be getting back onto the racetrack a little while later as his crew works to put a new motor into the car. Oh, heads up behind. One catches the fence. That is Diego Sainz. That's just snapped sideways out of 2. Overcorrected up into the outside wall. Just in front of him, the number 8 of Brandon Burkhart. Nearly going around as well. Diego Sainz, Jason Dalton, Ken Campbell. All of them going to fight it out for track position. As Sainz clears up from Jason Dalton. This for a battle down for 13th towards the back of the field. Just look at the gaggle packed up behind your race leader. I mean, this has got to be a nerve-wracking sight. I mean, you know, you make one mistake and everyone behind you is willing to capitalize off of it. Smith's still hanging around here waiting for a door to open. Danny Moynihan looking like he's starting to get a little bit more feisty. Might be ready to try and make a move here. As he tucks to the back of Cole Saquette. 29 on the car, but he has scored as the number 3 on track. There he goes, going to look for the inside. Does he commit? Sure does. Oh, sideways, and gathers it up. Tell you what, I think the thing I love most about these cars is how much they can just power slide through these corners. Makes the racing here much more of a visual spectacle than anything that you could offer up in Gen 7 machinery. Now, cars like these, you got to properly wheel them to pull them underneath you. Basin looking for a piece of real estate. And Basin improves up to 7. So Dylan Basin has been on a pretty good run so far on the recovery drive. Wow, he is just fully decked out in good old Jimmy Johnson apparel, isn't he? So Dylan Mason, I think it's obviously who he takes inspiration from as he hunts the top 5. Further down the field, Cameron Ingram going to drop another position as Diego Sainz takes that one away. And he's not the only one under fire. How about actually not the way I thought this would go? I thought Smith would be the one on offense. He's actually on defense as Samuel Fontaine try to go around the outside through 1 and 2. Lap by lap, we continue to tick them away. Of course, this race tonight, just one of many here in the For the Boys Racing League in their debut season. Oh, as Moynihan catches the wall. And that is going to cost Moynihan quite dearly. Have not seen any meatball flag yet. He might have gotten away without it, but he has definitely lost a lot of spots. And you can see a lot of damage on the right front now. That's fine, though. I mean, that's manageable. Just got to bounce back. But, of course, tonight, the Atlanta 250 next week. It's going to be a trip out to the Auto Club Speedway. The California 200, a 100-lapper down in Fontana. That is followed up by the Texas 250 from the old 2009 Scandal Texas Motor Speedway to close out July. From there, Chicagoland, Kansas, the older layout of Michigan will be in August, and closing out August will be one of the crown jewel events of the series, the Coke 300. 200 laps around the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Uh-oh, problems for Jonathan Evans. Evans' connection appears to have dropped, and he is nowhere to be found. And we may have just lost another. Right now scored 16th, but not present on the racetrack. Jeez, these guys are getting a bit nervy as you work through down the back, especially to turn 2. These guys just seem to kick that tail end out and just can't get it underneath them. And how about that? Colin Savage said he might be back onto the racetrack, but I didn't think he would mean quite like this. There he is, though. Out on the racetrack after coming down pit road for a blown motor all the way down on lap, 9 or so of this race. He's not going to have a win in him tonight, but right now, he could find that car scored all the way up as high as 18th. And again, when you get the old Winston Cup Series points format, every one of those positions is critical to a championship. So definitely worth coming out and just logging laps. You never know what might happen. You could come away with some half-decent points considering your situation. Yingling so far, still losing out to Aaron Smith. Smith closed a 10th and a half that last time by, and now we see the long run pace with the PT Autosport Yellow Vision number 70 starting to come into play. Look at how he opens up turn numbers 1 and 2 to get a huge run down the back straight. He's going to do it again here in 3 and 4. On board with Smith, and I mean, it looks like the worst line, but look at how much he's going to close in here down the front straightaway. What this is also doing is this is actually starting to stack up drivers behind as Dylan Bason's able to slip into 3rd. Fontaine drops to 4th. Saquette back into 5th. And Chris Gore is officially dropped to the bottom of the charts. Saquette down the inside. Trying to see if he can secure from Fontaine. Ooh, heads up. He's going to get the wall. Up front, Smith is right there. Does he go high or low to get around Yingling? He's going to look high. Yingling shuts the door. Smith cranks the wheel to the inside. Not going to be deterred. Smith's big bid to try and go after the race lead was interrupted by a caution the last time he attempted it. Trying to go at it again. But all of this means that now Dylan Basin is able to save his tires and keep on in the fight for the lead. It's a 3-way scrap right now. These guys have been side by side for about 4 laps straight now. They are showing no signs on quitting yet. As they work into turn numbers 1 and 2, but you can see just how they've been able to keep alongside them in the different lines have been incredible. I mean, Smith gets the run through quarter entry, but Yingley's just able to keep with him on quarter exit, but Smith might have him here. No, never mind. Yingling sends her around the top of 3 and 4, not allowing Smith to clear up to the wall. And Neil Basin is loving this because he knows these guys are chewing up their equipment. And in fact, could Yingling pull off the defense? He does! Yingling clears and keeps Aaron Smith at bay. Another driver, meanwhile, making his way back out onto the racetrack, going to be Jonathan Evans, now 10 laps down. Evans, of course, got caught by a pretty bad connection failure. Whatever the problem was, he has gotten it sorted, but... oh, no, Marr. Brendan Marr with a meatball, and he is going to be into pit road for damage repairs. And, well, Aaron Smith, he saw how well the outside worked, and he's like, all right, two can play at that game. Smith around the outside. Dylan Basin now to the inside, trying to still pick off Aaron Smith. But he won't get there as Smith clears. And Basin tracks to the wall. But look at him just throw that car down to the bottom side, all the way to the apron. And well, with Aaron Smith starting to lead the way, we'll check back in on what has happened here to Brendan Marr. This is what sees him come down to pit road as had a big tank slapper and just crunched the fence. Oh no, now Diego Sainz has got a meatball fly there. He's going to have to come down to pit road to serve. And he did the exact same thing. He actually hit the same spot that Brandon Marr did. Take a look at this here. Just out of turn 2. Snap wall right into the concrete. Oh, now even more problems as looks like Telder may have gone around. A lot of smoke on the back straightaway, and that has broken up this field. Something fierce, so we'll jump back again and hope that nothing happens this time. Coming around turn numbers, oh, loose, oh, that's the wall. Spun around and, oh man, a big hit into the fence, but somehow no caution for that. But that is not what broke up the leaders because he was nowhere near him. That's why the yellow didn't come out. Diego Sainz comes down to pit road. Daniel Moynihan has had problems now. All of a sudden, it's just falling apart for the field. And still, Dylan Basin tries to chase down Aaron Smith. Halfway home, 84 down, 84 to go. Of course, this track extremely bumpy. And that is no doubt what is having a hand to play in some of the sudden carnage that is kicked off with this field. And of course, the old tires. I mean, we're running over 2 seconds a lap slower than our best times of the afternoon, as finally Diego Sainz forced into pit road to serve his meatball flag. He was on the verge of getting disqualified. Meanwhile, Saquet, Nichols, Sweeting running 5th, 6th, and 7th. Sorry, 6th, 7th, and 8th. One of the closer battles now in the racetrack. I'm loving this. I mean, this has been fantastic throughout all of today. Hard to complain when you got a good group of guys putting on an extremely competitive race like this. John Nichols going to find the fence as he got caught up by Chuck Sweeting just a bit there. Coming down pit road is Cameron Ingram. 44 laps on the tires. He has decided that is enough. And he is the first one in for, we believe, scheduled green flag service. All the while, Dylan Basin continues to chase down Aaron Smith. Now he's going to look up high. Smith down low, trying to cover. Smith playing the defensive game here. He's just trying to keep him behind him until they can get to a run of green flag stops. John Nichols has now come down to pit road. And, well, Basin wanted to go high. He was prepared to lunge it in. Smith saw it coming, though, and stacked up the high line to keep him from getting it in. Now he looks for the inside. The question is, has he finally taken the lead away? Smith up on the top shelf, and he takes it straight back. This fight, I think that's going to go straight down to the pit stop window. Down to pit road is going to be Jason Dalton this time by, so he is now down to the pits. Donald Castillo caught for speeding on exit. So Castillo will have to return to pit road. Big mistake, and that'll be well, I mean, 6 laps down, right? I mean, this race is kind of already down the tubes, but this is not going to help matters. One by one, drivers have started to trickle down to pit road. Jason Dalton right now is in the pits and just got back out onto the racetrack. While the fronts are going at it, oh boy, a big wobble there for Matt Press. Press in a bit of a dogfight at the moment as he tries to chase down Samuel Fontaine. Fontaine, meanwhile, going around the outside of Larry Yingling. Whoa, look out, Press! Press all over the shot in the background. Able to wrangle her together, but not by much. Right on board with Press. Coming around turn numbers 1 and 2, and back end flicks out. Good job to bring it under you. Brandon Burkhardt will come down pit road, and speaking of the devil, here comes Press. Why am I not surprised? I mean, that incident, it doesn't look like he kicked the tail end out all that much, but I mean, you take a look here. I mean, that car is sideways. I mean, that is, look at how far he kicks the tail end out. I mean, the wheel motions make it look so easy, but I mean, from the outer view, that lends a full picture. Mason continuing to chase after Aaron Smith. Turning more right than he is left as he lunges it back into 3 and 4. Oh, that's the back end going. Gathers it up. But those tires are just gone. It is now a game of chicken as to who is going to stay out the longest. There you see some of the drivers that have already come down to pit road, getting around Aaron Smith, put themselves back onto the lead lap. That in particular was John Nichols, and well, I just had Brandon Burkhardt get a lap back as well. Ken Campbell, meanwhile, down and into the box. Four off, 4 on, he's off and away. Good long green flag run. We didn't get many of these at Daytona due to the high-speed nature and the closely packed together race. And I mean, things fell apart there kind of quickly. A lot of crashes, 3 or 4 different rollovers. Love all the green flag action, though, that we're getting here this afternoon. So far, only 1 yellow flag, and it came about at the lap 45 mark. Here we go. Pit stop's underway. Sammy Fontaine is in, so is Larry Yingling and Cole Saquette. And in fact, Aaron Smith is also in. And Dylan Basin. All right, we got a race now. So the pit strategy game is going to be a fierce one. Here comes Aaron Smith trying to beat Dylan Basin out of pit road. This is the race for what could end up being the net race lead, and Smith easily jumps him on the exit. Meanwhile, everyone else making their way out of pit road. And this pack going to end up being a lap down. Now, here is the catch. Chuck Sweeney is in the lead of the race. Chuck Sweeney's also on 59 lap Bull tires, so we know he has to come down pit road. So the real battle, the real race leader right now is John Nichols. He is going to be in the lead of the race by the time everybody else is through. But His tires are about 13 laps older than that of Aaron Smith. So curious on what Smith's last lap here is going to end up being. In fact, we'll get a look at the lap times there. Don't ignore 100 and 101. Those are laps where Smith is in pit row. But, I mean, that right there tells the story. 4.5 tenths of a second. Smith is going to run that 10-second gap down to Nichols before too long. And speaking of cars, there goes the number 2 of Cameron Ingram already dropping back. Nichols up in the lead. Smith in 4th. 6 tenths quicker, and that is while in a battle and with dirty air. This is not a situation that Nichols wants to be in. Smith should be able to make short work of Matt Press with those tires being 5 laps older than his as well. He is going to have to go and do this the hard way, though, because Matt Press is not going to make it easy on him. Smith trying to chase down Press here. Further behind, Samuel Fontaine going to drive around Jason Dalton. And the more Smith sits behind Press, the more Dylan Basin gets a little bit hungrier. The more he thinks, you know, I could probably have gotten by these guys by now if I just went. And in fact, he's thinking that now as he's going to look to the outside as Smith's attack on Press is going to fail. Basin forced to lift out, though. I think he recognized that probably wasn't going to go well for him. Decided not to fight. Aaron Smith finally drives around Matt Press. I think he kind of got the picture, and look at all the lap traffic. Good timing for Smith to make that pass, because now we can focus on just picking off lap cars like Brandon Marr without too much fuss. Well, racing action continues on this afternoon. We're going to take a jump back, and when we return, it is more racing coming at you for the EchoPark Speedway. You won't miss a moment as we go side by side on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV, where racing action continues on here this afternoon. For the EchoPark Speedway, Aaron Smith has run down John Nichols and is now ready to attack for the race lead. This battle, one expected to be done and dusted, and just like that, Smith is through and retakes the lead of the race. We have just over 50 laps to go for the Atlanta 250. And Aaron Smith finally takes the lead and has got some breathing room. If you're just joining in, welcome to the show. You've missed a great race so far. Plenty of action to be had all throughout. So we're watching some of the lone battles on the racetrack kind of sort themselves out. Still got over 50 laps to go in this one. One caution on the day. It came at about the lap 45 mark with a pretty hefty incident. Started with Matt Press and Ken Campbell, and Press got loose, spun down across the nose of Campbell. From there, drivers like K.H. Donahue came flying in. Right now, drivers out of the race along with Donahue are Gore, Senior, Evans, and Sainz. Mark, Castillo, and Telder all running laps down. The kind of, I think, the inspirational story of the day. Chris Gore, 58 laps down, popped the motor, got a new one in, and still out there and running on the racetrack. Hey, just wants to have a bit of fun out there, continue to just run around this track. Campbell going to clear Cameron Ingram meanwhile. We might have one more pit stop left in us here this afternoon before we kind of call it a day. Out of the 22 cars that started the race, 13 remain on the lead lap, with 17 on the track in general. This is weird. I'm a bit surprised we've still got so many on the lead lap. I thought we would have been under 10 by now. Hey, I like it. Shows how competitive the field is after almost 100 lap of racing when over half the field is still on the lead lap. Gonna check it in on Dylan Basin and race leader Aaron Smith. Bason's not really gaining much, not really losing much. Kind of hovering right around the draft. Larry Yingling has been having a bit of a scrap with Colson Kent over the last while. They kind of been hanging around 0.3 of a second. Haven't been able to really gain or lose much. Oh, Castillo, black flagged again into pit road. It just has not been his day. Colin Savage also may have had a moment just seconds ago, and yeah, that's a moment, all right. Kind of getting up into the outside wall while trying to steer clear of the leaders. So it's going to be a long way for Castillo, and that should put him 10 down. That will put him into a battle here with Brendan Marr. In fact, Marr might actually be able to jump him here. Oh, heads up. That is if Marr doesn't crash first. Meanwhile, Matt Press has caught John Nichols, and 7 lap difference on tires here. We'll see Matt Press get up into third. What a comeback driver he spun out for our lone caution of the day earlier on tonight. Now fighting for a podium. Of course, John Nichols has also got Samuel Fontaine hot in his heels and might be in a battle with him before too long as well. Quite a lot coming up over the next little bit on Green Flag TV. The High Tide Racing League Guardian Premier Series taken to the Michigan International Speedway. One of the wildest tracks on the NASCAR calendar. Will be host of the Monday Night Premier Series. That will be at 9 o'clock p.m. tomorrow night. From there, we are going to have the Old Mesero Gold Series out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Transients 150. And a triple header on Wednesday with a Global IndyCar Challenge. Kicking things off at 3 p.m. Eastern for the Wednesday IndyCar Series at the Iowa Speedway. In the afternoon, starting around 8:35 p.m. Eastern, will be the Scherf Racing Designs 160 from the Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Premier Sim Racing Sim Gimmick Expo Truck Series. And that night, Super Formula Lights will take to Australia and Phillip Island as the Beer League will have the season opener of their 12th straight season of competition. Now John Nichols going to lose out to Daniel Fontaine, but doesn't look like he's going to take that line down as he has closed right to the back bumper again. Trying to go around him, not going to go the way he thought it would, though. And Fontaine starts to drive away. Further down the field, Daniel Moynihan launching an attack on Jason Dalton. This is the fight for 11th on track. So the pair of them, side by side, and well, Dalton into the wall. That'll make it easy for Moynihan. A lot of movers and shakers that we've had so far this afternoon. So far, Aaron Smith by far up the most, plus 20 on the day with Matt Press. Next closest at 12, he runs in third. Meanwhile, Cameron Ingram now 9 gained on the day. He has improved all the way up and into a top 10. So pretty solid efforts all throughout. And well, the championship battle right now looking like Aaron Smith set to extend the points lead ahead of Matt Press. The gap, these are live standings, by the way. The gap now up 35 over Press. John Nichols jumping up 3, while Jonathan Evans and Brandon Burkhart will both be losing out. As a result of, unfortunately for them, some less than optimal showings here this afternoon. Smith trying to go back-to-back in the opening 2 races of the championship. Got a real chance on getting it done. Matt Telder will hit pit road, and this will be for his final stop. He'll be good to go the distance from here. Meanwhile, Dylan Basin caught Aaron Smith. Now looks for the inside. Dylan Basin going to take that one down low. Track it up. Clears Smith. A bit surprised there wasn't more of a fight there. For the PT Autosport number 7, he may have just not been able to get the run he was looking for. Now, if you're Aaron Smith, do you go undercut or do you go over? Colson Kent looking for the inside of John Nichols now, trying to battle his way into a top 5. And he will do just that. And he's not the only one, as Larry Yingling going to try to go down this. Wow! Boy, Nichols! Sideways, nearly taking out Yingling. And after a quick change of race trousers, Larry is through. And I'm sure he's like, all right, I don't want to do that again. I'm sure that was mildly terrifying for him. Take a ride aboard the 67 as there you see the 29 Saket getting around Nichols, and then a very sharp stab of the brakes, and frankly, that heads-up driving quite possibly saved them from a crash on the back straightaway. Well, Aaron Smith not letting Dylan Basin run away with the lead, as Dylan now getting caught with lap traffic. That is Jason Dalton on his outside. Ken Campbell comes down to pit road for the final time and gets into his stall with no problems. Further in the order, Matt Press, Samuel Fontaine going to go up and around. Cole Saket and Larry Yingling looking to kind of drive through. Cameron Ingram now down to pit road with the Miller Lite number 2. Shades of Kurt Busch from the old Charger. Oh no, Ken Campbell, black flag for the driver, the number 15. And that is because... Really? No way they black flagged him for that. Surely not. You got to stay under all 4 wheels under the blue line. I thought he had all 4 wheels there. I don't know. I mean, that looks to me like that's no black flag, unless it was a speeding penalty. Which, I mean, that's a very real possibility. Oh boy, Daniel Moynihan having quite an issue. While Jason Dalton goes down to pit road. Now Moynihan side by side with race leader Dylan Basin. And back end comes around on you. Heads up, does some lawn mowing, gets back onto the racetrack. Samuel Fontaine, meanwhile, still trying to close on Matt Press. John Nichols and Larry Yingling will be the next two down to pit road. And if you're just tuning in from the Blaze Battles ARCA series that just wrapped up, welcome on board to the For the Boys Racing League with the second race here at EchoPark Speedway. It's been a good run so far, only one caution on the day, plenty of side-by-side action, plenty of dramas, plenty of stories. We are right now in the middle of our final pit stop cycle of the night. Oh, that's a bit hot in behind for Colson Kent somehow. Actually gets that thing slowed down in time. All right, credit to you, brother. Samuel Fontaine now trying to chase down Matt Press. This is the fight for third. A lot of instability right now behind these cars. Is Press going to hit pit road this time? No, he stays out. He wants to fight this one with Fontaine on track. AC Colson again making his way out of pit road while Samuel Fontaine clears for number 3. All the while, your race leader, Dylan Basin, continuing to circle. Going to be coming down to just 25 laps to go. Now, if I'm Smith, I'm going undercut. Reason being, Basin does not have all that much time to try and chase you down. You got a good opportunity to potentially walk away with some good points. Not to mention the honors of taking the first 2 wins of the season back-to-back. While this goes on, we'll ride on board with Matt Press. With Press trying to run down Samuel Fontaine, Brandon Burkhart. Fastest lap of the race so far. Well, there you have it. Matt Press able to make the pass happen in pit road. And now the question. Does Dylan Basin fall to Aaron Smith? Smith coming around. Turn numbers 3 and 4. Basin now is in turn 1. Aaron Smith trying to charge him down through turns 1 and 2. Down to just 2 seconds, under 2 seconds. Smith is ripping the fence. His tires are up to temp. And Dylan Basin going to manage to stay out in front by about 1.4. So Smith was still a ways to go, but a good bit of fight, and I think yet to be had if he can close up to the number 48. Boy, I love a good late race fight, and Aaron Smith took him a little bit to find his footing, but now started to pull within the draft bubble of Dylan Basin. Now the big question, can he chase him down in the dying stages of this race? You saw how much the laps tended to swing, especially when Dylan got caught up behind Chuck Sweeting, who has not come down for a pit stop on this final stint. Meanwhile, Dylan Mason now caught by another lap car. That's Jason Dalton trying to stay on the lead lap, but Dalton's going to go one down. Now Smith closes the gap even further. It's just about to half a second as they work down the back straightaway. Now it's under half a second. Smith is there. Dalton moves to the inside. We got to fight for the lead with 15 to go. Aaron Smith pushing as hard as he possibly can, trying to run down Dylan Basin, but is he pushing too hard, too early, trying to go back and take the lead of the race? Such a risky play to be gunning them like this early on. Meanwhile, Cole Saquette overtakes John Nichols. That puts Saquette back into a top 5. Slides right across the nose of the number 41. And well, a good move there for Saquette. We'll see him now up into 5th place. And now we can try to run down Larry Yingling, who's 1.3 seconds up the road. I think Aaron Smith may have botched his chances because now the gap has started to grow again. It got down to about 0.3 of a second, but now the gap extending back up to half of a second. Dylan Mason's tires and even finally started to come in. And as he takes 12 laps to go, looking more and more like Basin will be walking this one off. It's been a fight between the 48 and the 70 all day long. Dylan Basin, this would be the ultimate comeback. He pitted on lap 7, quite inexplicably, took fuel only, went a lap down as a result, had to fight his way back onto the lead lap, and from there slowly picked off the field one at a time over the green flag run until he took the lead that he now looks to hold. Larry Yingling gets around Chuck Sweeting for 3rd, and Sweeting might be about to drop here to Cole Saquette for 4th. Just behind them, a bit of a nervy moment going on between John Nichols and Samuel Fontaine. Nearly runs into the back of him. A constant reminder that battles are everywhere. And there's a decent chance you could find yourself caught out if you're waiting just a little bit too long. So still side by side for spots deeper in the field as Chuck Sweeting going to drop out. Matt Press, meanwhile, trying to size up a move on Samuel Fontaine. Press to the inside. Fontaine up on the outside. All the while, they are in the midst of more lap traffic. Ken Campbell is going to let them through. And finally, Fontaine going to drop back, and in fact, he's going to lose out. He's going to get around John Nichols as well. So Matt Press is through. Cole Saquette is through. 8 laps the distance. Dylan Basin extending the lead back out to 1.3 for the top spot. This 48 car has been on fire today. We'll have to ask what the heck happened in the opening stint. We've still got other fights on the racetrack that have yet to be decided. As Matt Press tries to attack Colsicat, the fight for fourth is on. And third place runner Yeri Yingling is just up the road. Six laps to go. There has been non-stop action this afternoon. Even in a field that is not quite the size of something like we get on Monday or Tuesday or Thursday night. These guys, again, proving that you get a good car, you get a good number of people that can drive it, you can still put on a damn good race. And boy, these guys are having a good one this afternoon. Samuel Fontaine chasing after Matt Press. Press, meanwhile, has Yingling in his sights. Whoa, one car slides behind. A big tank slapper for Fontaine will allow for Siquet to look down his inside. And not a move that can be completed. Larry Yingling doing a good job on playing defense here against a charging Matt Press. Press, though, does not want to be denied. Press to the inside, Yingling up top. 3 to go this time around. And still, Yingling holding on up top. But I think this one might go the way of Matt Press down to the inside, unless Yingling can really pull a rabbit out of the hat. Presses through, but he's got 2 laps still to try and settle it. 2 to go at the line. And looking like this one is going to be outside of Yingling's hands, as he's going to be dropping further down the field. Meanwhile, Dylan Basin working his way into turn numbers 1 and 2. Basin pitted early, went a lap down, got lucky with the lone caution on the day, drove through the field, had a fight of a lifetime with Aaron Smith all race long, and now he works through 3, through 4, Dylan Basin to victory lane at the EchoPark Speedway. And Aaron Smith going to come home back in second place as the field comes off of turn 4. There is Matt Press in the white car, second in line. He's going to take home third. What an awesome run. Oh no! Oh, Colsicat out of fuel at the buzzer. Just miscalculated. He's going to run out. Tough break for him. But there is your race winner, and Aaron Smith pulling alongside, giving his congratulations. Stellar drive tonight as he goes from back to front to win in Atlanta, Georgia. 10 out of 10 form on this very long smoky burnout. John Force would be proud of that one. Pops the motor right at the end as well. That is a great, great celebration right there. One of the better ones that I've seen in my time on iRacing. Well, we'll take a rundown and look at your post-race results here this afternoon, as it is Dylan Basin coming home. Number 1, Aaron Smith fought as hard as he could. He'll finish second this afternoon, along with Matt Press back in third, Larry Yingling in fourth, Sammy Fontaine in fifth, John Nichols in sixth, Saquette, the last car on the lead lap, in seventh. From there, Chuck Sweeney, Kevin Ingram, and Jason Dalton close out the top 10. We had Daniel Moynihan, Ken Campbell, and Brandon Burkhardt all finish within the lap. Matt Telder, 3 laps down. Brendan Marr back 15th was 11. And for there, closing out the field was Castillo, Savage, Sainz, Evans, Donahue, with Senior, Gore, and Milan right at the back. Well, play of action still yet to come here on Green Flag TV. The post-race show coming on up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV, to the post-race show. After a thriller for the Boys Racing League, we'll start things off first and foremost with the man of the hour. It is Dylan Basin coming home number 1 this afternoon. Dylan, what a comeback drive from going a lap down, getting lucky with the caution, driving back to the field. You take a win, but boy, Aaron did not let you have it easy there in the back half of this race.
Yeah, I had to figure it out real quick because one run he started to pull away from me and stuff, and I knew it was gonna be difficult after that. So I tried to pit with him at the same time and eco our stuff back out. And yeah, that second to last run before our pit stops, I just tried to keep the right rear on. Like, I understood what I had to do with it now because that was the first, like, qualifying was the first laps I ever ran for this combo for this week. So I had to learn it as I went through the race, and yeah, I figured out how to stay out the right rear, and it worked out pretty good. We managed to pass him, put a gap on him before pit stops. Then he tried to undercut me, and I still had the advantage coming out of pit road, so I knew that after that I'd be pretty solid towards the end. But I just did the same kind of saving strat that I did before, and it worked out. I mean, I just had pretty much all the grip I needed at the end right there.
So given the pace that you had here this afternoon, I think the big question that I've got for you right now is, well, what the heck happened on lap 7 to send you down pit road so early?
I had a little setup issue. Tape was at 80% still, so I was overheating, about to blow up. So I had to go down and adjust the tape back to the race trim. So yeah, I had to come back and drive to the field just to get myself on the lead lap. And got that before the yellow came out. So didn't have to take the lucky dog and go to the rear, a complete rear of the field or anything, but it still sucked to have to come back to that, but it didn't really seem to matter.
Well, coming on up next, it's, of course, Auto Club Speedway next week. Of course, Auto Club, known for all of the action that track can put on no matter what car you're running. What do we expect to see out of that 48 car next week?
Hopefully another win. You know, that's what we're here to do every week, and that's one of my favorite cars to drive on the service. You know, these older cars at the high horsepower and low downforce are like my bread and butter. And the next gen's fun and whatnot, but I think these are like the best cup cars to drive in terms of just pure fun in the game right now. So hopefully we can just pull out a few more wins and get ourselves a good point standing and see where we can go after that.
All right, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing once again. Congratulations on taking home number 1, and we'll be talking to you again, hopefully again, next week.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Dylan Basin comes home number 1 this afternoon. We'll bring up Aaron Smith, the driver of the PT Autosport number 70, coming home number 2. Aaron, from the back to the front, this one was not an easy cruise, but you're able to walk away with second place, and quite the fight you were having with Dylan there in the back 50 laps or so. It would help if I actually pulled him into the right channel. There we go, Aaron. Welcome to the broadcast booth. Quite the fight you're having there with Dylan right at the end of the back 50 laps there. Not an easy race for sure.
No, absolutely not. I mean, this is one of the nights where I was thankful to not have a good direct drive wheel with how hard we were sawing the car on the straightaways. But yeah, there was so much slop in the wheel. I felt like I was swerving a little bit more than everybody else there once the tires got warmed up. But it was a great race all around. I'm surprised we got only 1 caution, I'll be honest with you.
You and me both. A pleasant surprise, though, because it really allowed the strategy game to play out to its fullest. That was the big fight between you and Dylan. Dylan said he was just keeping his right ear open, trying to stay on top of you when it came to the strategy, kind of follow what you were doing. What were you doing to try and surpass him?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he had the right setup on or what, so I figured I'd just stick near him and see what happened. And yeah, he completely gapped me there in those last runs. Like, he drove straight past me in the second to last run and didn't see much of him from there. So I have a lot to work on with this car, but I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot right now. But like I said, I'm not invincible yet, so I got to work on it.
Well, you took a win at Daytona. You take a second place here tonight. Auto Club Speedway comes up for race 3 in a week's time. What's going to be the game plan?
Same as tonight, aside from trying not to butcher qualifying. Hit the wall on my second lap and ruined everything, but it didn't seem to make much of a difference there at the end of that first run, so I'll take that. And we have a lot of really good tracks coming up. I would say that I have a shot at winning all of them except for Kentucky. So we'll see how it plays out, and hopefully it'll all keep on playing in my favor.
Fingers crossed. We wish you the best of luck when we go racing in California. In the meantime, enjoy the second place.
10-4, thank you.
Aaron Smith comes home number 2, and, well, we'll move on down to Matt Press, the driver that comes home 3rd. And, well, Matt, after you got turned in the quad oval to bring out our one and only yellow of the day, I thought for sure you weren't going to be a factor at the tail end of this one. Boy, did you prove me wrong. There you are in 3rd, taking it with just a few laps to go.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't think I was going to be a contender anymore either. I'm actually surprised I didn't get hit again. I was actually just talking about pitting, and I got spun, so that kind of forced my hand at pitting. So, yeah, I'm happy with a 3rd place.
Kind of talk us through your race. It was not the best of qualifying efforts, of course, with how difficult it is to get these cars around qualifying. And, well, the poor starting position followed by the crash definitely didn't help matters, but you're still able to make that drive through the field.
Yeah, the qualifying, I was trying to cheese the first lap, and I scraped the wall on the second lap, so I threw that in the trash. And I just took my time. I didn't force the issue and just picked them off one by one. You really can't go full throttle down any of the straightaways, otherwise you're going to fry your tires, and it's very hard to get control of. So I just try to take my time, be smart about when I pit, and adjust it on the car every single pit stop.
We had a 4th place finish at Daytona, a 3rd place finish here tonight. Season-long goals, what are you thinking?
I'm hoping for a couple wins. Obviously, I would like to be number 1 in the championship in the last race. I can't wait for Auto Club. We'll see how we do there. It's one of my favorite tracks. These cars feel pretty good at Auto Club. I think that'll be an entertaining race. Hopefully get a P1 there.
All right, we'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing next week in Fontana. Congratulations on taking home your first podium of the series, and we'll hopefully be talking to you again next week.
All right, talk to you.
Matt Press comes home number 3, plus 12 on the afternoon. A stellar outing for him, as well as so many others throughout the course of the field here this afternoon. Taking a look at the championship standings, exiting racing action here this afternoon. As expected, Aaron Smith extends at the top. Matt Press picking up the number 2 in the points as a result of his third place tonight. John Nichols going to take up 3rd, but already you can see a trend started to develop at the top. If Smith can keep putting together the season the way he has been, he is absolutely going to be the man to beat here throughout the course of the season. Don't forget other drivers, though, like Brandon Burkhardt in the tight fight with Jonathan Evans, of course. Daniel Moynihan has got some more speed than they need him. Samuel Fontaine, feel a bit bad for him. He had quite a good run that he could have had, of course. K.H. Donahue, plenty of more speed in that car. We saw that tonight before he plowed into a crash under the first caution flag and the only caution flag of the afternoon. But all of this with still plenty more of racing yet to come here on here for the For the Boys Racing League on Sunday nights. But before we can get to all of that, there is still more yet to come over on Green Flag TV as we get set to go racing tomorrow afternoon with a High Time Racing Garden of Mirror Series at Michigan for race number 13. The Old Mesero Gold Series is out at the for the Transits 150 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A triple header with PSR, GIC, and Beer League racing action over on Wednesday. The Average Joe Sim Racing League will be the first of a doubleheader on Thursday night for the Todd Ingersoll Senior Memorial 185 at Talladega, alongside the Highline Diecast Collectibles Speed Cup Series at Dover Motor Speedway for race number 2. Friday, we'll see action for the Boat Racing League with the Lightning Series out of the Milwaukee Mile, with the SRA NAS Classic Series taken to the Charlotte Motor Speedway coming on up this Saturday night. All of that will then take us back around to Sunday, where the Blazing Pedals ARCA Series will see yet another round alongside the For the Boys Racing League when they go racing over at the Auto Club Speedway. What a wild race we had here this afternoon. Still plenty more action yet to come here on Green Flag TV as well. If you want to find out more about who we are and what we can offer you, check us out today at www.greenflagtv.com. We'll see you next week on Green Flag TV.